So welcome once again to the second day. I just share my screen. Okay, before we kick off to the main issues for today, I would like to mention some practical things here. The lecture slides, I have put the one of yesterday already in the Dropbox. So please, I think you can, sorry, just. You can find that there. The video is still in process. It takes some time to get ready, and then I will put it in the YouTube channel so that you can have that as well. Then yesterday we ended with the group. We ended with the group task, breakout room, which you combine with formulating your research question. So, and that is this one here. Here, this one, knowing your funder. So what I want here is for you to address these questions, because you will go to the funder you have been assigned there and you get this information. Where it is not available, indicate that it's not available. Indicate that it's not available. So what I want you to do is answer this and prepare this in either a Word document or a PowerPoint presentation, whichever you want to do. Send it to me. Once you send it to me, I will upload it in the Dropbox folder. The idea is that every group will have access to that. Okay, so each group should do that. You can do it later today and send to me. You can do it tomorrow and send to me. But the idea is that every group will have that, so that people will have access to the other groups' task. That is one. Then the second thing is this one here. Here, this group project. Just to repeat that, what I have given is topic areas. What I've given here are topic areas. I don't expect you to just pick this and say it's your topic. No, that's not what I want. I want you to, these are issues. And so pick one of these and formulate your own topic from it. Because with this, you can have 1,000 research projects. You can have 1,000 research projects, and that is how it goes with each of these. So pick one thing you want to do. And you know, this is a grant proposal. You're not doing a national program. It's just a grant proposal. You have to solve a specific problem. So pick one of these and formulate your own topic from it. And once you have done that, each group should send it to me. And like I said, more than one group can focus on one topic area. It doesn't matter. But I will, if for instance, two groups are focusing on this and they come up with the same topic, the group that sends to me first, we have priority. And then the second group, I will ask you to try to do another one. And so I need that before the end of today, because you're supposed to do this yesterday. So I need that before the end of today. It was good to see that some of you were working so hard until I kicked you off yesterday. It's quite interesting to see that you have dedicated so much number of hours to focus on your project. Sorry that I had to kick you off due to another meeting. So, but I thought also that it was really encouraging that you remain to try to solve your problems. Of course, some other groups finish beforehand. So it's good for you to take your time to look at these things. And then I also observed from the group that was left that you were already making connections. We're already describing what you're doing, your areas, and as I said yesterday, this is a forum for you to connect with other colleagues from around the continent. So please utilize the opportunity. I mentioned yesterday that each group needs to appoint a group coordinator. So I need that name. I hope you have done that. So please send that name to me this morning. You can send me an email for the things I have requested here. Then I have the nuggets I mentioned. And what are they? These are some short, persuasive articles that have been written by scholars, colleagues, and describing the issues of funding. Some of them, their experiences, some of them giving some tips of what you should look at for when you are developing your plan. And so I have put group 1 to 8 in the Dropbox. I will do for group 9 and 10 later today. I will put that. So what I want you is that each group, you can choose any of the breakout sessions we have. Find maybe 10 minutes to coordinate yourself, to harmonize your thoughts. You can make a PowerPoint presentation. You don't need to do that. But the key thing is when you come, please, you tell us in 1 minute only, tell us the take-home messages from the article you have looked at, take-home messages. And then it is possible that in the article, there is a text or a text or thoughts you have found that you think you want us to reflect on. So you put it in a quote and you can finalize with that. So each group will need to do that. So I'm not giving you a breakout session separately for the nuggets. You find a time to look at that, and then when your time comes, you present. Fortunately or unfortunately for group 1, they will present before we go to the lunch break. That will be the last thing we would do. So group 1, please get ready. Take your own article from the Dropbox folder that contains the nuggets. Take your own, and then get ready for that. Then group 2, you present immediately after lunch. Immediately after lunch, you're going to present that. So please also start getting ready for your own. Then group 3, you present yours just before we end today. So also start getting ready. Group 4 to 6 will come tomorrow. 7 to 9 will come on Thursday, and then group 10 will present on Friday. Now, then to progress things, let me stop sharing and I will put something here. I want everybody to really, I want everybody to write their names. It makes life easier. You see that yesterday we spent so much time trying to figure out which group each person is. So I think some people use a way which is really, really helpful. So this is the way I would like you to write your name. Just using the example some people made yesterday, which was good. And I think we can maintain that. It will make assignment to the groups quite easy. So let me share this again and show you what I mean. Yeah. So if I am to write my name, so please write your name like this. Then when I am assigning you to the groups, it's quite easy for me. Eman, please, do you have the link to the Dropbox folder? Please help me put it on the chat here. It seems some people don't have it. But if not, please check your email. The first email I sent there. Please use always go through your emails. Those are there. Now, yeah, Eman, we shared. Yeah, somebody has shared it already. Okay, so please change your name in that way. Great. I see. Yeah, many of you are doing that now. The other thing is that as I mentioned yesterday, we had 550 people who registered for this course, but we had short of that. We had around 60% of the people who were constantly here yesterday. 40% didn't attend. Please, no, I don't mean that you should write. I don't mean that you should write your this thing in the chat box. I mean that you should change it in your profile name on your Zoom. So don't write what I've written here in this. Don't write it in the chat box. I want it to be on your profile picture there. So if you know your colleagues who are supposed to be attending have not showed up, please let them know. If they don't do that, because other people had opportunity to attend and they didn't get that opportunity. Our rule is that those who took this opportunity for granted will not be admitted in our subsequent courses. There are those who even yesterday couldn't attend and they sent me information that please other tasks have come. I can't continue with the course. But if you just don't show up at all and then the opportunity is lost for others too, then we wouldn't consider you in next subsequent courses. So please, if you have colleagues who are not here, please let them know that so that okay. All right, now let's go to the written for today. Do you have questions from what we have looked at? So the Dropbox is what you're going to use all week. That is where I will put the material, except the video. So you have to be checking the Dropbox for updates. The group you belong to is the group you will be throughout the week. So keep with that group. Yes, Prof. Chukuma, you have a question? You can unmute yourself and speak, please.
Thank you. Good morning, Prof.
Good morning.
Yes, yesterday when you were talking about, what could impact negatively on a person's application in regards to, direct and indirect cost, right? Where does honorarium sit? What percentage? How does one, put it? Is it direct or indirect? So that people should know when they are preparing the application, because maybe if your honorarium and or that of your co-workers is excessive, it might impact negatively. I just wanted to know your take on honorarium. Thank you.
Yeah, I think usually each funder will indicate some of these things. The funders will usually give specific instructions regarding if it's salary, if it's honorarium, if it is stipend. They will usually give instructions on that. And that is why the task I gave yesterday, before the end of yesterday, is very important for you to do that task, because that is where you should start first. You should start first there to understand what does the funder want. And they give specific instructions in this area. Now, if in this part of the world, for instance, if you're applying for grants, except when you go to the industry, there's some industry grant that come. They want you to execute certain projects, and then they would want to pay for that service. Sometimes they have what they call unrestricted grant, unrestricted, and they have restricted. When it is restricted, it means that they want it to be for specific things. You can't use it for other things. For instance, you have applied to do a lab analysis, for instance, on cassava. When it's restricted, you can't use that to pay for transportation to go to somewhere, maybe for attending a lecture or something like that. You have to use it for that purpose. You may not use it to pay for courses to attend, to do a course. You have to use it for the purpose for which it's given. But when it's unrestricted, meaning that you have flexibility to do what you want. So if you get, because it is the industry that usually mostly give the honorarium that you mentioned now. So you have to check what is their condition, what percentage do they require you to have for that. So if it's a project that you are actually charging them, they are not the one fixing the price. They tell you, give us your quote of what you're going to offer. Then you also have to be strategic and be clear what is going to cost you, what will be the money invested in the project itself as compared to the money you are going to get as honorarium and your team. So there is no one answer fits all here. It's for you to read the instructions and then be strategic enough. There is no need to over quote the budget. Then in that case, those who are funded may have doubt that they can pay such amount of money for that project. I don't know if that answers your question, Prof.
I'm okay. That right? Yes, you did.
Okay.
You did well on that.
All right, thank you. Okay, any other question from what we treated yesterday, please? Remember to please write your name and include as the group you belong to as part of your name there. Please, I see some people have not done that, maybe those who have just come in. The idea is that when you write your name, write your group at the end so that it's easy to send you to your groups once we start going to the groups. Okay?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Is there a tip or a quick way of finding funders? Thank you.
For Africa, the site Theo gave yesterday, I think is quite helpful. And the document I shared in the Dropbox, Eman kindly compiled, is quite helpful. I think those are ways to get in Africa, and then you can, of course, use the internet to search. But I think one thing that could motivate us here in going forward is we can keep our mailing list here. If you don't want to be in the mailing list, if you have opportunities, you can send them to me so that perhaps I can begin to compile the possible funders so that we will be able to begin to build on that, But when you come to the developed Western world, you can see that many countries have databases for putting together the funding that are there and the different funding streams that are available in such countries. So if you're looking for opportunities outside Africa, then it's easy when you search, for instance, research funding in Sweden, where you can see a number of those coming up. I think that is the easiest way to do that. And then, of course, you have networks we belong to, career networks. You have colleagues, you have peers, you have supervisors, you have mentors. Please get in touch with them. And when you go to conferences, you have opportunity to meet people as well, and then have presentations that are there. And then what we have discussed, and that is one thing we want to be taking forward, the Frontiers initiatives we want to be taking forward, is to now push the conversation around the private sector contribution to funding research in Africa. So we want to continue that conversation and see how we can get them out of the place they are and move into supporting research. And then, of course, the researchers have to do things that will be, of course, convincing for them to put their money. Like I said yesterday, this is an issue of money, and nobody wants to throw the money as a Santa Claus. So there should be novel ideas that change direction of things before people can put their money. So researchers, we need to begin to push that forward so that we can get people to fund the research. Okay, I have.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yeah, who is there speaking? I have 2 hands. Let me start
Yes.
with those who have raised their hands first.
Okay.
I have Baba Seidu and Najim. After that, Najim, you take up. So let's Baba go first.
Right. Thank you, Prof. I think my question has to do with the track record that is often expected of those submitting grants proposals for support. Now, here for a lot of us in the universities in Africa, a lot of the universities do not have the support for small grants that could be used as a support that one has that track record. And then also you discourage the use of one's personal resources to do the research. So can you throw some more light on how we can go around the issue of getting some track record to indicate that we can actually be trusted?
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, personally, I have come to my own research orientation is to see research and science as one of the means to contribute to our life being better in the world we are, as long as we are here. And that would be in areas of, for instance, environment, technology, agriculture, and so we have diverse areas we are working with. So the key question is, what am I bringing on board to make our life better? And if we when I teach my courses, because most of the courses I teach are around research method, persuading people to fine tune how they think about research, how they think about science, how they think about their career. I always think that this is the basic paradigm of why we have even assembled here today. How can I bring my little contribution to make our life better? If we have that paradigm at the back of our mind, then you see that the academia, the university becomes even a little heaven here, because we have one focus, regardless of whatever we are doing. You're a microbiologist, you are an engineer, you're a business person, you are an admin. The ultimate goal is to contribute to better life for all. You're a security person, that is the ultimate goal. If we all have that focus, then there are certain things that we begin to flow naturally. One of those is collaboration. One of those is collaboration. Collaboration is very important. I have my grant, for instance, and I have my colleagues. And so when the ideas start coming, I involved my colleagues. This is what I'm thinking about. I'm trying to develop it. Will you like to participate? Some of my colleagues are in the same university I am working. Some are in other places. Some are abroad. And we start brainstorming together, because the ultimate goal is to put our hands on deck to change the narrative in that area we are working with and contribute to better life in society. So when that happens, it's the demonstration people give when you have the broom. If you use one stick of the broom to kill a fly, you try for a long time. But if you have a bunch of them, then it becomes more effective. That is the way it works. So now the track record now becomes something that we all benefit from. Now I get my grant. Publications will come from there. The grant itself I get is a track record that has been built. So it is not only my benefit, my colleagues all benefit from that. The publications will all benefit from that. So if we have this mandate, this paradigm shift we have in our mind, we all work towards that goal so that we can collaborate, we can share ideas together, we can, somebody may have small pocket of funding, the other person may have, we bring it together to pursue a research that eventually not only giving our track record, but also helping to solve the issues that are in the society. That is one point. The second point is that I think there has been a paradigm shift in many African universities in terms of what the university is there for. There's been a paradigm. What is the university there? University, they call it a place of higher learning. It doesn't make sense if the university only provides people who become not useful for the society. University is a place you go to learn about the universe and apply it to change how things work in the society. But nowadays, people go there and several things happen. People focus only, the university system is structured that people focus only in teaching and do not have opportunity to do research. So the university has not been structured in that way that research becomes part of what you do. I'm not blaming the academia there because that is the load they are put on. You see, a professor is teaching from bachelor's to PhD, from bachelor's to PhD. And when will he have time to do that? So when the university is recruiting people, they need to give them time. They can give them, say, okay, 15% of your time is for research. That is really helpful because you see some output that will start coming out there. And for you as a university lecturer, employee, research is an important aspect of what you do because it helps you for self-reflection. It helps you for discovery. It helps you for improvement in what you do. So when the university understands that, then the structure of what the university does and how the university operates will take into account the need that is there for research. And so there will not be so much persuasion of the university to develop some pocket of funding to support staff, at least to begin to build in the pilot preliminary data collection, and then begin to build this track record, Baba, you're talking about. So that is the way from the institutional level that should work. But the other aspect I want to emphasize, sorry, I'm taking some time on this because it's really an important issue, is that, it's just like the Frontiers seminar series we had where we discuss private sector and university partnership. Please, if you have not been joining the Frontiers Initiative seminars, it's very important. I think you will learn something from there. One of the issues that the speaker mentioned is, okay, I'm a private sector. I don't know what the scientists are doing. I don't know. That is important statement he has made. How visible are we? Are we really pushing what we're supposed to be pushing? I believe that if, let's say, in your university or in your department, you have 5 of you who are hot, who are really motivated to do research and begin to think, I think you can form a movement across department, across faculties that will persuade the university to begin to develop this fund. Many times it's not that they don't have the money, but they have not been persuaded enough. So you form a group that we formulate a research agenda. In several universities, perhaps in Africa too, you may have, they have center of research or something like that, or coordinator of research. This these centers need to be quite visible and persuasive to begin to think about these things. Let's begin to raise pockets of some money. And if you help your staff to begin to build this preliminary track record for the university, becomes a good thing, because then they can build on that to knock on the door of the big funders to get external funding. Okay, so Baba, I hope that was clear enough for you.
Thank you,
Now,
Prof.
yeah, Najim, please. Is Najim there? Please unmute yourself and then you can
All
speak.
right. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And good morning to the whole house. Yesterday, you mentioned TEDFund in Nigeria, responsible for many spending in the academia. TEDFund was the brainchild of ASU, Academic Staff Union of Universities in Nigeria. I am thinking that there's need for academic revolution, quote and unquote, in order to change the situation, because it is impossible to change a situation when we keep on doing it the same way. We keep on getting the same results. So I feel that there may be a need for a kind of legislation, because like the case of TEDFund, when ASU proposed the idea, ASU was seriously opposed. Some of us suffer for it, but eventually the thing was approved and is legislated. And now the universities across the nation, they're enjoying the benefit of it. And like we mentioned yesterday, that a big company like these communication companies, they are making a huge amount of money. What stops us from moving ahead and getting more from them out of the much they have, so that we can get more for research? Because if we are thinking of getting funds or grants from outside Africa, we may not go far. We have enough resources in Africa to develop Africa if we can tap our resources very well. So that's just my observation, sir.
Thank you, Prof. I think you have mentioned it, and it's clear. You used the word revolution, and to be frank with you, it is so critical that we need to think along that way. We need revolution to get things done, because where things have gotten now, if we allow it to continue in that way, Africa has a long way to go. Believe you me, we have a long way to go. And if we want to change the narrative, and like I tried to persuade you yesterday, the academia has a key role. Science is the bedrock of the development that we bring to Africa, because science is there to solve everyday problem that we face, or provide solutions, or even provide some clues of how these issues can be tackled with. So yeah, we need that. The scientists need to have motivation to do real research. Once we start doing that, I tell you, it is not so difficult to persuade those who have that money to put that money into what we do. Our time is fast spent, but I will give some time to Zara to speak quickly, and then Salma will follow, then we'll continue. This discussion will continue it as we go through this week. Yes, okay. Zara.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Professor Bright. I really appreciate your comment about research agendas in university. They usually employ us just to teach and teach and teach. But my question is about mentorship. When you come to a department that has poor mentorship in research, how do you reach across to have mentors that can guide you towards research in your area of specialization? Thank you.
Yeah, I hope you were able to attend, Zara, you were able to attend our last seminar series and Frontiers, because that was what we actually dealt with. And the video is on the YouTube channel, so you can watch it, the issue of mentorship. But really, from what the speaker was also saying, the fact is that many times when we think about mentorship, we are thinking of going to get something, but you should also be bringing something on board as well. What do you have to offer? What do you have to offer? Do you have something that will persuade a mentor? So you shouldn't just wait to be fed. You should also go with something. And if somebody identifies that, yes, there's something here, it's easy to persuade people to guide you. But how do you identify that? Because if, for instance, as I receive lots of emails from many places in the world. Some of them I just read, I just delete them because people are not really understanding what we are trying to do. With the time I don't have, then I wouldn't waste it on doing things that I do not know where it is going. So if you have an idea and you think you need help to develop in that area, then get it ready. You can also begin discussing with colleagues around, get it ready, and then you can, it mustn't be within the university. You can push out. The world is a global village these days, and you eventually get somebody who will key into the idea you have and to guide you. I have received and I continue to receive invitation from people who would like you to help and participate in this study or participate in this paper so that we can write it together. If I see it something that is interesting, I could say yes. But if not, I can provide some tips. I can provide and move on. But for the Frontiers Initiative, we already have a mentoring program we're into. And after this course, we can start one for this course. The two courses I have taught, the first one I taught last year, July, we have around 10 people we are mentoring that program. What I did was to divide them into two groups. The first group, each of the groups has submitted a paper already. They're under review. They are working on the second paper, which some may be ready soon. So for them to develop scientific fineness, how to prepare a paper, how to develop their topic. Some of you are here already, who are part of that mentoring program. And for the second project, second course we had January, the groups are already working on some project already, and I'm mentoring them. So we can start one even from this course. If you think it's something that you want to move on, I am happy. The first course last year, we have monthly meetings, actually. Monthly meetings, we meet to discuss, and we have, during the meeting, time for questions and discussions that relate outside the project we are working with, that relate to your career, things you want to ask, things you want to discuss, and we all discuss it together. It has been really a fantastic experience for me as a person. I don't have so much time, but when it comes to a African course, I try not to say no easily, because I know that this will benefit the continent. So if from this course at the end on Friday, you decide we want to form a group to begin to deliberate on this issue of grant writing, from what we have learned from this course, please, Zara, you can start that movement. You can start email lists and ask people to join, and then we form a group to move on. So I think this is one of the ways, and that is, if that happens, one of the objectives of this training is achieved, and one of the objectives of Frontiers Initiative is achieved. So that is just something I can say to that. Okay, finally, Sama, let's hear from you. Unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, thank you. So my question, Bright, is it possible to send my proposal for more than one funder or organization at the same time? And if yes, so do I have to mention that I have applied already for funding somewhere? Because some funders, they tell their applications by asking such questions if you applied somewhere. Is it ethical, for example, to not to mention that I applied somewhere because it might narrow my chance to get the grant?
Yeah, I mean, no, it doesn't narrow your chance from getting the grant. Yeah, this is a question. If you have, yeah, the first one you ask, is it possible? Yeah, when you apply for grant, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Throw it to several places. As far as those funders fund what you have, throw it to everywhere. Throw it everywhere. You know, the thing is that SAMA really, if you apply for funding, if you apply for $1 million, rarely will a funder give you that whole money. You understand?
Yeah.
Rarely will they give you that whole money. They will usually give you some part of it. But you need $1 million to do that project. Where will you get it from? Apply to other ones. You understand? So if you ask, if a funder asks you, did you apply to other ones? It's not trying to say, well, we don't give you since you applied to. No. One is that it shows how serious you are, because if you're serious, you will apply to multiple places.
Okay.
That is one. Second is it also helps them, if they like your project, it also helps them to see how they can help this project to go on. Okay, you apply for 1 million, but we can only give you 500,000. And since you apply for the other one, well, let's expect that they will also support you.
Okay.
But if you don't apply at all, then, and they have only 500,000, it makes them not to say, well, since she didn't apply to other funding agents, we can't pay all this money because we don't have it. And you know what that will happen? It may even lead to rejection where we can't pay this money. We like this product, but we can't pay this money. So always say yes. And if possible, indicate where you have applied. One, it shows seriousness. And two, it helps the funder to make this decision that is important.
Okay, it is a matter of trust also. Yeah. Okay.
All right. I know that Prof. Chukuma is raising his hand, and Josiah Uchewaji, but please, you can keep raising your hand. We'll come back to you. I know this discussion. Okay, Prof. Maybe it was the first hand you raised, but Josiah, just keep your hand there. We'll come back to you. Let's finish this aspect we have now and see where we can go, because time is flying. You can see how the discussion is coming up, because these issues are important issues. Okay, let me just quickly review what we did yesterday. We motivated why grants are important for you as a scientist and for science. We defined what grant writing is. We emphasize the competitive nature, and I still remember Christian's narrative, warfare. So please have that at the back of your mind, because it is very stiff competition that we have there. We discussed some barriers that are there to grant writing, individual and as well as institutional barriers. The culture of granting, training for staff, persuade your universities, set up research agenda, push this thing forward. Changes, like Prof. Babarinde said, revolution. There should be revolution, not revolution of a stick or gun, but revolution of intellect, persuasive intellect. That is important to push forward, to see that we get things right. So once that happens, the institutions and individuals begin to have the tools they need to excel. And when the scientists at the universities excel, what happens is that the institutions excel, and when the institutions excel, the nation will excel. It is just a ripple effect that happens, natural and normal. So let's have that as scientists we have gathered here. When you leave, start a revolution. I had the course in January, reproducibility in scientific research. I was so happy when I sent out the invitation for this particular course for application. One of the participants, I will mention the name, maybe I will ask her to, if I can mention her name later on, but she came back and she said she was so happy because she got a grant from a funder in her country and organized a course on the topic we discussed in January. I was so happy to hear that. She started local revolution, which is important. So you wouldn't say, I don't have opportunity. Look for that opportunity and start something. And I think we'll be doing ourselves a lot good when we do that. We explored some funders which you had in your group work, in your assignment. Please, as I said earlier, compile this within your group, answer to those questions and send to me by email. And for each group, please appoint a group coordinator and please send me the person's name so that I will keep in touch with them. We discuss what funders are looking for. We discuss what a competitive idea should look, and we mentioned the issue of novelty, impact. And then we introduce you to the group project for this week. And what is it? That you are going to write your own grant application. You're going to write your own grant application for your project this week, so that by the end of this week, on Friday, you're going to present it within your groups. 10 minutes, as I said, so follow the instructions. You can find everything on the Dropbox folder. Everything is in the Dropbox folder, please, except the videos. So don't give any excuse, because we have been able to make it quite simple for you to deal with this. Okay. I mentioned this, the grant structure, that I mean, there are variations of all these variations, but mostly these items are there across different grant funding agencies. All right, let me, I think we have sat down for 1 hour now. Let's take a short break. I think 5 minutes should be, well, let's give you 8 minutes. So let's start 5 past the hour, and continue.
Prof, before you go, I just want to say something.
Okay, please, who is speaking?
This is Victor Chukuma, Group 6.
Okay, Group 6, Prof, go ahead.
You said that you gave some things in the Dropbox for us today. Like someone said, I've checked, I didn't say it. What I found there were the things that were there yesterday.
Is it?
Yes.
Maybe you check. I will check it. I will check it after the break. I will let you know.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
Yes, sir. I think it needs to open the nugget. You find it there. The nugget, you scroll down in the, I had to do that. I couldn't see it until Priscilla told me.
All right. So you know, it's if you check, you don't see it in the front page. You need to open the folders.
Yes, and then move down is where you see the nugget, and they're all there. It's
okay.
Priscilla who told me. I couldn't find it, so I was busy.
Yeah, don't worry. Maybe I
will
push it back to your different group folders. But I will do that while we are on break now. So see you soon.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. I think we can move on. Josiah, dear, do you still have your question or have you answered that? All right, so this is the structure we have here. Now, we start, as you can see, we have the title. We start with that. These two, particularly this, is something that you do at the end of the application, grant application. So writing a grant application, we'll come back to that hopefully at the end. But I want to, and this also is easier done when the grant is finally written. But we will do it now. And while I wanted to do it now is that you can see how it feels to start it from the beginning and compare your experience when you do it at the end. You have at the end of the grant application. So the title of your grant is usually the first information anybody has about the grant. That's the first information anybody has about the grant. Are you all seeing my slide?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Yes, we do.
Great.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. Just all right. So it's the first thing people see when they look at your grant. That's the first thing they see. So the title is very important. Your title can push people away or it can distract. It can push people away. It can bring people close. Telling me, oh, some titles you just want to embrace the grant. This is so lovely. Yeah. It doesn't mean that what is inside is good. It doesn't mean that what is inside is good. There are some people you give them product and they can sell any product you give to them. Why? Because they can persuade you to buy that product. And so the title should bring somebody to look at what is inside. You may have good stuff inside your application, but your title can actually say, well, no, this is not serious. But really, you're serious. You're very serious. So the title is important, and then you should make it important as well. And I hope you are getting the gist here. We have, I think this is an African saying, yeah, it says the empty drum makes the loudest noise. But in grant writing, you should really make that noise. I don't mean shouting, but your title should be something that attracts people into your grant. Let it not distract. The title should be informative. It should be short. It could be single sentence, or you could use hyphen or colon to separate it into parts. But it should be short. It should not be a title of 5 lines. Oh, by the time you finish reading it, you have forgotten where you started. Goodness me, yes, such titles are like there. It should be short. It should be quite short, please. The title should be able to reflect what the project is all about. The title should contain information of what the project is all about. The title should contain information of what the value the project brings. The title should contain information of what the benefits or the impact the project is bringing. So we will see how far you have come through with this. Of course, the next thing we are going to do now is after this title, I'm sending you to your groups to make a title, an attractive title for your project. Yes, it's soon, because the title will be very much finalized at the end of the project, but I want you to start now, and you can see as you build on your project how it reflects even the title. At the end, by Friday, you can go back and see, what title did I even choose from the beginning? Oh, I will change it because now I know more. I have now improved my my project, so my application, so I can change it. So it should reflect what the project brings. You need to spend time to reflect on it. Spend time, the time that is needed, spend time to do that. Unfortunately, you don't have that time with me, really. You have to push hard now, because I'm not giving you days. I'm not giving you hours. I'm giving you only 30 minutes to get some titles for your project. Yeah, it's good. It's good because you will be continue to reflect on that as we go. Get input from your collaborators, colleagues. Don't do it alone. Use simple, direct language. Most reviewers are not experts on your topic. They're not expert on your topic. Trust me. You may have somebody who is a biologist and is reviewing an application for physics or engineering. They don't know some of the things you put there. So you make it in a way that is so simple for people to follow. Don't use big terminologies. No, don't use big terminologies. So make it simple and use direct language. If possible, include funders friendly keywords. And that is why that group project I sent you out yesterday at the end of the class yesterday is very important. Know the funder, get the keywords, make a list of the keywords. If possible, include those there, because as you send the application, the one who is compiling it, oh, this looks now, this looks similar to, and it attracts. This is good. This is good, you know. And those impressions help a lot to get people become friendly even your application. Place most important words first. Place most important words first. Keep it short. Mind the character limit of the funder. If they ask you to write a title of 60 to 100 characters, don't give them 200. Don't give them 200. Don't even give them 101. Don't go beyond the maximum they have given you. Respect that. Avoid generic words. This is a proposal to do this. This is a study of. This is an investigation into this. No, use active, future-oriented words. Use catchy words. Use words that make impression. Use words that the reviewer will remember. Oh, I've read this. I know this. Don't use boring word, a proposal of. Before you finish it, you are almost feeling like sleeping. Point to the project outcome. Yeah. Point to the project outcome. What is your outcome? To prevent diabetes, to cure diabetes, to prevent death. Let your outcome manifest in the title you use. And please omit unnecessary words. Okay. And what has happened here is that I have given a link here. I've given a link here. Let me see how I can, let me stop sharing. And let me put this link in the chat box so that you can have it there. So that link I've given there, what it contains is link to some European Research Council funded project. Go there and see how the titles are. Explore it yourself. There are several pages you can go through, and you can see different titles. Look at them, different titles. And you can see some variations across fields, but take your time to look at those. So how do you create a good title? Extract lists of words and phrases from your application. And that is why I said it's easier when the application is over. Extract lists of words and phrases from your aims, from your objectives, from your methods. Extract them, compile those words, compile those phrases, put them together. Then arrange them into sentences. You know, this is one way you can do that. Not the only way. You can already think about the title yourself, but this is, if you're struggling, this is one way you can do that. Make up to 10 title variations from the arranged sentences you have made. Then share this with your collaborators. If you have made 10 of them, you ask them to give you from what they think the best 3 titles. The best 3 titles. Tell them to choose the best 3 titles. If you have 5 people, you can begin to see commonalities across that. And then work again with the 3 that you have chosen from your collaborators and reduce to the most outstanding one. Yeah, that is a title you use, and you will be happy with that. So it follows a kind of systematic approach to get a title. So you can see that even the title of an application matters a lot. It's so important. Okay, I will send you out. I'll send you out so that you can deal with this. So I'm giving you 30 minutes. We'll come back 10 to 9 GMT. So what I want you to do is that in your group, try to already begin to brainstorm on the titles. So each group should formulate 3 titles for their project, and you share this with the peer group for feedback. Okay, the peer group assigned to your group. The title is work in progress, so you can continue to tweak it until the end of the application. So the peer group, once it is sent, please, before the end of today, give a feedback to the group on the titles they have provided. Please, before the end of today, give a feedback. So the peer groups are group 1 and group 7 are peering, group 2 and group 6 are peering, group 3 and group 10. So please take note of this so that you can work on. So please take a picture of this. You have not already done so. Okay, let me send you now to your groups. Let me do it manually. Some people have not indicated their groups, so that makes it really difficult now. You have not indicated your groups in your name. I see some names there. Please, in your name, add the group in your name. You can see how the others have done that, so that I can move you to your group, please. This is quite a lot easier to do now when you have this. So please, just give me some seconds. I'm moving you. Remember, the group you are assigned from the beginning of the course is the group you will be until the end of the course. So I see some names that have not changed their group list. Put your group title in your name so that it's easier to find you. If you have not put your name, please do that so that I can join you to your group. Change your name. Yeah. There are several names here. I can't find the groups they are. Abdu, what group are you? I have Abraham Tadele. What group are you? Folusho Agulana.
Group 8.
Hebale.
Folushaglana, Group 8.
Yeah, I sent you to group 8. Hebale.
Group 6.
Yeah, can you change and put your name on the listing, please? Your group in your profile. Chinagoram. We're in group 8 as well. Safa Goma.
Yeah, I am in group 3 yesterday.
Yeah, so please add the group you add to your name. All those who are here now, add the group you add to your name, then it's easier.
Yeah.
Adanma, sorry, Eberendru in group 2.
Dorothy is still waiting.
Who is that?
Dorothy Obengo.
Dorothy, I don't see you here. I've sent you to group 1.
Oh, I'm just seeing Eman group 2 inviting you to room 1. I can't see mine.
Yeah, so why don't you accept, if Eman is inviting you, accept that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're already in group 1. Yeah, Salma, what group are you?
8.
Group 8. Yeah, you can add your group to your name so that I can find that easy. Omar Toure.
Yes, Prof.
What group are you?
7.
Group 7. So please
Yes.
add the group you add to your name. Mary
Ah.
Sheila. Mary.
I am group 10.
Group 10, please add your group to your name. And Miriam, no, I can't see that there. Mary, you are in group 5. And Hatham,
I am in group 10, no? You changed my group? Excuse me, sir.
which group are you?
Yesterday I was in group 10.
Group 10. That is where I sent you
Yes,
now,
please.
Mary.
Okay.
Mary, I sent you to group 10, so you should accept to go to group 10.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, here is group 4. Prof. Babarinde, you are in group 10. What happened? You have not accepted your invitation, so you should accept that. You should come to your screen already. And the Anastasia Ofori. Prof, you need to accept your Anastasia, you should also be in group 9. You're already there, but you have not accepted the invite to go there. So you should have come to your screen.
Okay.
So check your screen and
Okay. Yes, sir.
Prof. Babarinde, have you seen yours?
I'm not seeing it, please.
Okay, let me try it again. Let me try it again.
Okay.
No, don't check, don't go there, and let me send it to group 10. Did you find it? Okay, great. Anastasia, what happened? You didn't get it.
No, I didn't get you, sir.
Okay, so let me change that now. You should have it. Prof, what happened? I thought you joined already. Godfrey, what happened? Godfrey, you're already in group 3. I sent you there. Okay, welcome everyone. I hope you have been able to discuss to discuss your title, and you have the 3 options. Perhaps you didn't have sufficient time to get the 3 options, but like I said, it's work in progress. I want you to do all this work naturally. Don't put yourself too much under pressure. The most important thing here is that I want you to get out of this course having some tools, some tips, some ideas of how to approach what you are doing in your grant. So pay much attention to that. It would be so easy to make the presentation about the title of your grant and then just leave you to move on. But from my own experience in my teaching, it's easier for you to put this in your mind when you have tried it. So I think the group work will help you to reflect on that. So please continue to develop your title, reflect on it within your group, as well as thinking about your own grant application. So use this formula to work on your own grant application. I know some groups have already sent their topic before we treated this title issue. Please check what we have offered and in the session and see if you can actually modify what you have there already. And that is the essence of what we are trying to learn here. Now, is there any question regarding the title from anyone?
I have a question. This is Jocelyn.
Yes,
I
please.
just wanted to know if this title that we discussed in the group session has to be the final one, or can it be just an idea that we can still change?
Yeah. So that is what I said in the work. So the title is a work in progress, and you can continue to tweak it until the end of the application. So until Friday, you have opportunity to modify your title. That is fantastic, trust me, because I have done this, and the title I started with ends up not being the title I submit, because the more you develop your application, the more you get a better idea of what you can add, and that can also affect the title. Okay.
This is Dorothy. I have a question, Professor Naru. So we sent our question the way it is. We only have one so far, or do we work on it some more before we send two?
One title, you mean?
Yes, we just came up with one. We didn't manage the 3.
Yeah,
so
you can see.
When we get it, we send it to you?
No.
By email or?
No, you don't send to me. You don't send to me. You see, let me have my cursor. You see my screen? Are you seeing my screen?
Session 30 minutes, that's what I'm seeing.
Are you seeing my screen? Are you seeing down here?
The groups paired?
Yeah, this group, you have group 1, group 7. You have,
yes.
Yeah. So you have to send, group 1 has to send their own collection of titles to group 7. Group 7 sends to group 1. Group 2 sends to group 6. Group 6 sends to group 2, just like that, you know. And what I have done now is, as you were discussing, I have put list of participants and their groups in the Dropbox folder. I have done that now. Okay, so if you go to the Dropbox folder, you will see the list of the participants in this course and their groups, so that you know who to send that to. You can send it to everyone there, but as I've said, it would be good for all the groups to send their coordinator to me. Some have done that, but send the coordinator so that I will add the names here as well so that you can, because this pairing will continue until the end of the course so that you know who to send it. You may not need to send it to everybody in the group. So send me the names of your coordinator so that I can have contact with them and add their names here, please. Yeah, was it Naomi is raising the hand?
Yes, thank you, Prof. Just a quick question. One of my group members raised an interesting issue in the differences between how you create a title in social sciences versus basic sciences. And how do you work around that when you're applying, right, creating a title for the funder? In terms of some titles, some projects, you're not directly going to do a project, it's more of like a survey or something like that. So how do you differentiate that and work with the different areas? Thank you.
I don't think really the field matters here, really. I don't think the field matters. I think what is important, like how I said in the discussion, what is important is to make a title that is easy to follow, a title that is sensible, a title that is simple, a title that is not complicated, a title that is attractive. So whether you're in social sciences, you're medicine, you're engineering, you're whatever you are, these are principles and you don't break principles. Principles can break you, but you don't break them. They are just principles, which you can now contextualize. And so these principles affect any field, you know. So use those principles. Whether you're in social sciences, make your title simple. Make your title to reflect your project. Make your title to reflect your outcome. Make your title to be active. Make your title to be attractive. Let it not be distracted. So these are principles, and these principles cut across fields. I don't want you to put your topic. I explained this carefully in the morning. Don't put your topic in the chat. Send it to me by email. And the last group project yesterday, send it to me by email. And if you're a coordinator, send it to me by email, because I get so many messages here on the on the chat box that I can't figure it all out. The messages are coming every second here. So please send it to me by email. If it's just one line, the coordinator of group 5 is this. Our title is this. The project of knowing the funders yesterday is this. So send it to me by email. It's easier for me to follow from there. Okay. Any other question? I can take one. Uchewaji Josiah, you were raising your hand at that time we called upon you. Are you ready to ask your question now?
Yes, Prof. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Well, you made a comment earlier that one can apply for grant in multiple places. So my concern is that, is it allowed to use the same application for the funding request in different locations?
Yeah, so apply to different funding bodies. Yeah, apply to different funding bodies, use the same application, but that is why we said earlier, please make sure you read the instructions of each funder. And that is why the group discussion that we ended with yesterday, in which I gave lists of funders and I had questions I wanted you to address. I want you to address, because you still need to address those questions. It are things that you need to consider when you see a particular funder you have to ask yourself those questions. You have to make sure that you know what they want. So the fact is that different funders have variations of how the application should be structured and look like. And so if you are sending an application to one funder, you may not need to send it exactly the way it is. Make sure you know the structure of the other funder. But yes, you can send the same content, but may not be the same structure to different granting bodies. And then yeah, like Salma was asking before, if they ask you if you apply to another place, yeah, answer yes, of course, because that is information they want to know, for not to kick you out, but to use it for decision. The money is not much there, really. It's not unlimited, so those decisions are very important for the funders to have.
Okay.
Question. So if you have to tailor your application according to different organizations, what do we, especially for the one of yesterday, you sent out to study one, and you told us this morning we need to use those keywords for our topic. Yeah. Do you are we required to look at others or just that one?
No, Dorothy, the keywords I said you should gather yesterday are the keywords that you can identify from the funder. And the point I was making is that when you're developing your title, the title of your project, and you know that the title is different from the topic.
Okay.
The title is different from the topic. The topic is an area you're focusing, you're doing your project. The title is the name you give to that topic you're doing. Okay? So the point I was making is that when you are developing your title, it is also helpful from the keywords of the funder you have generated. If there are some keywords that are good for you to include in your title, it is good, because home is home. When the funders see that, oh, this sounds like ours, it gives good impression. That is the point I'm trying to make. You know, you have to bring the skills of cosmetics, beautification, you know, tantalizing, excellence, and things like that around this, because you want something that will be attractive, you know.
Yes.
So those keywords from the funder, if you find some that are helpful to elaborate your title, then use them in developing your title.
So that means then we come up with, do we go to other funders for the other two topics, or the ones that you want?
No. That's not what I mean. So the issue of getting the keywords from the funder is not a requirement to develop the title I've asked you to do now. I mean, when you are applying for your own grant, you do that. But if you already know that, Dorothy, that at the end of this project, you and your group are planning to submit application to the funder you have identified, yes, you can use the keywords you have generated from those funders and develop the title. But if not, you can still work on your title without looking at what the funder is, because this is a classroom practice. In reality, you could put all these things into perspective.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Please, how are we going to know the person that is group leader that we are going to send our topics to?
Yeah,
because it's not indicated in the Dropbox.
Yeah, it's not indicated. So I will do that once I get it from the groups. I've not got the group leaders from the groups yet, except for very few, I think 1 or 2. So the others, send me the names of your group leaders and I will add it to the Dropbox and I will put it also here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now let's walk through this before really our time is flying so fast. It's flying so fast. Let's walk through this. We have talked about the title this morning. I want to take you through the aims and objectives. The aims and objectives, and this is really an aspect. In addition to the title too, I mean, every part of the grant application is important and needs to be taken good care of. But the aims and objectives is an aspect that people really overlook, and they don't take the advantage they have to push the matter they have here. This is where you push it. This is where the reviewer get attached to your proposal. You push it here. And that is why I call it here heart of the matter. This is the heart. And if the heart is problematic, then every other part is problematic. So this is the most vital part of the application. Very, very important. And it helps the reviewer to develop confidence and conviction that your project is going to succeed. And not just that the project is going to succeed, but that you are able to deliver it. This is where. And not just that, but that what you're doing is important to be done. And not just that only, but that the impact of your project is something we will be happy as a society. So the impact will be important. So you need time to develop the aims and objectives. Think about it carefully. And I have extracted some outline of how we can do this. Yeah, I see comments here. Please, as I mentioned yesterday and stress, I know that you have different fields. You have to struggle with this course to ensure that you are able to adapt to gain the knowledge. Personally, I think of science in very simplistic way. In my group, for instance, in my research group, I have social scientist, I have a mathematician, I have a data scientist, I have medical doctors, and the idea is bringing multidisciplinary perspective into research. Research has gone and science has gone beyond where we begin to make differentiation. This person is this person is that. And I said early in the morning, really, science is about changing the narrative of how we live in the society, improving our lives, and which means that anybody can contribute to doing this because we have a role to play. And so if the tool I need, this mathematician has it, I bring him on board. If the tool I need, a social scientist has it, I bring her on board. And so this is the way it works. And we have to adapt there. We have made so much differentiation. Universities were set up to provide solution to the system. You remember history of medicine, how it started? People were thinking about different causes of disease. It was conceptualized in different ways. And as we move on, we begin to understand it better. But this understanding we have should not promote differentiation, but should bring harmony because we all have role. And so that is why when I started this study, I said there are differences in profession, differences in gender, differences in age, differences in country, differences in everything. But let the goal be learning through this course and doing our best together to form knowledge we can be happy with. So please work together to see how you can use this paradigm in formulating what you are doing in your project. That is the way I see it. I don't see well, in my group I have a qualitative researcher. I am built on quantitative, but I'm learning a lot from them. Wow, how they can make interpretation of this is some things I don't think in that way, but they bring some perspective that are quite interesting to me, and I can utilize their skill to really move my own questions in the right direction, and they can also utilize my own skill. So let me move on that. Yeah, so I was saying about the aims and objectives. Many times we do not spend too much time to look at this. It's not a line you write. It's not 2 lines you write. It's something that you need to develop an argument. You need to develop persuasion. You need to have the ingredients that are there to tell somebody that you are serious. And so in grant application, is different from your writing an article. And by the way, within the Frontiers initiatives, the next course we are planning will be around July, and that will be on systematic reviews and meta-analysis. We ran the first edition last year, July, which was the first training we had within these initiatives. So we are repeating it again this year, July. So just for you to know, those who are maybe interested in that, of course, when the time comes, I will include the advert to you all in your email list, as I've been doing. And then the next course we are planning will be around October or November, and that will deal with academic scientific writing, or academic writing, however you call it, focusing on publishing. So the point I'm making here is that when you write your grant, you write your aims and objectives. It's not the same when you write your articles. So that is why the writing structure of a grant is different from the writing structure of an article. So we have different training for that because they are different things. So when you are writing the aims and objectives of the grant, it is not just as it says, then you make a bullet point list. You have aims and objectives, you make bullet point. No, you have to develop an argument. And that is why we say you should have a standout page. The aims and objectives, not more than 1 page. Have it in a page, a standout page. Try to fit everything there. And this 1 page should be a miniature of the whole project, really. It's a miniature of the whole project, a summary of the whole project. That is what constitutes the aims and objectives. And the aims and objectives must be measurable and not descriptive. You need to be very strongly persuasive here, because that is the first area, the first thing they will read. And when they read this, before even they begin to look at your background or state of the art or significance sections, this is the first. So after your title, they open the next page. Once they open the next page, it should be the aims and objective. That is the way you should structure it. And then persuade the reviewer that I am the guy to do this. Give me that money, I will do it. Give me that. But when the reviewer is there, you're not telling the reviewer this. You're telling the reviewer based on what you have written there. And the reviewer may be reading it and giving a very nice smile, meaning that this is sweet. Or the reviewer may be reading it and is frowning because this is bitter. I don't understand. The reviewer may be reviewing it, scratching his head because it's complicated to read. Reviewer is reading it and gets to the second sentence and is skipping it to return back because he has not even understood the first sentence. So this is a place you can do well or you can mess up. And so it is very important. It must be measurable and not descriptive. Sufficient time is needed to get this right. So you can see that the grant writing process is not just a joke. It requires time. And so I have from this book, which I like so much, it's a book, this edition, 2020, I have brought this structure here. You have the first paragraph, you have the second paragraph, you have the third paragraph, and you have the fourth paragraph. So this is called a 4-paragraph approach to the EMS page, or EMS and objective page. And this is what they have recommended. So these paragraphs here are like this. What do you call this? Does anyone know the name of this? The
It's an hourglass.
Hourglass. This hourglass is an hourglass, and you can see what hourglass looks like. That is the big top, the big base, and very tiny middle there. So this is an hourglass. And so this is how you should think about the EMS page. The first page will, and the first page, the first and second paragraph will be the top base. So we start with a global perspective. And then you come to the middle here, which will be the specific aims, in which you are very specific of what you want to do. And you can include hypotheses for each of the aims, if relevant, they say, and if it's not, then you should not. Method for accomplishing the aims, if you have space, but you should try to expand the specific aims. And then the base here, the white base here, is where you try to convince them. I will provide this outcomes from my project. My project is novel, it's innovative. I mentioned the issue of novel idea yesterday, and then my project has an impact it's going to create. So these are global. This also starts from here, smaller, and global. So because this is the immediate outcome you have, this is the bigger perspective, because the novelty and innovation, we can also spread for others to adopt what your method you have used. And the impact is what the society or your field of research or whatever context you have will benefit from that project. So global, more local, and then global. Okay. The first paragraph, we'll call it the introductory paragraph. The introductory paragraph. Sorry, just let me change something here. Let me change something here. It's a mistake here. Okay. So please remember to send me the email for your project. Send me the email for your project. Send me the email for the answer to the knowing your funder yesterday you made. Send me the email of your coordinator so that we can put these things in place and get everybody on the same page. Okay. Okay, so the first paragraph of the EMS page introduces the project. It should capture the attention of the reviewers. It should provide the gap in the evidence and before the funders announce a project, they already identify an area there is gap and which is a priority area for them. And so you should be able to capitalize on that to show the gap in evidence on that topic and as it relates to the funders' priority. Okay? And so this paragraph should have 4 parts. Yes, Prof. Chukuma, can you speak? I see your hand. Please unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you so much. Here, you find out that some funders, put a limit on the number of words you would have in each of the sections. So, and if one is going to be, to be exhaustive, following what you have just said now, for the sake of clarity, what you've been explaining to make the each of the, like the end page to drive in clarity and hook on the funder. Wouldn't it go beyond the number of words, because there's a word count for each of the sections? Just that's what I just want to say.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. I think that is very important issue you have brought up now. Sometimes, yeah, like you said, the funder is so much meticulous in the sense that they put number of words for different sections. They can tell you that your aim should not be more than, let's say, 5,000 characters, 6,000 characters. Your method section should not be more than 6,000 characters. But for some funders, they actually put it for the whole project. They said you should not have more than 4,000 words, for instance, or 3,000 words. But for some funders, they actually say the number of pages you need. Well, that is what they have said. And what I will advise you here is that don't cross the red line for them, because they will throw it out. No matter how novel your idea is, if they tell you 10 pages and you have 11 pages or 10 and a half, they will throw it out. You must meet that criteria, because that is also giving them a signal whether you are a bit obedient scientist, really. If they give you this money, they will use it in the right way. So if you're going there to write more than they have asked you, you're putting yourself in trouble. But now the question Prof is asking is, how are you going to fit all this? That is where this becomes very much interesting, very much interesting. Some of the principles I've mentioned yesterday. Yeah, I'm hearing background noise here. Please try to mute yourself if you are not muted. So that is where this becomes quite interesting. And that is where you develop your skills. The perspectives I'm giving you here are very important for you to note. And you can see this is where many people falter. And this is where also there is opportunity for training. There's opportunity for continuous capacity building within the institutions to develop those skills. And I was making a presentation and I used the terminology streetwise experience. You see, what we are talking about here, you hardly get such opportunity when you're doing your PhD that you are taught the skills, or like the course we had last time, reproducibility in scientific research, or the one we'll have in October, November, scientific. These are continuous education for the scientists. You need to improve. Like you have attended this course today. I tell you, in the next 3 years, you may need to refresh again. In the next 5 years, you may need to refresh again. So the icing of the cake is that you need to get involved in improving the skills. And so if you have the introductory paragraph or the EMS page, that is where it becomes sweet. Now, I mentioned the issue of time. Don't rush your application. You have it and then you start the last week. You put yourself in a big amount of trouble. give it time. I tell you, you see, when you say people publish in top journals, some of those things they have published take time to emanate. They take time to write. Some who have money even contract solid scientific writer to transform their ideas into a sellable document. But if you don't have that opportunity, take your time, build your application. You may have, by the time you're submitting, you may have 20 versions of that. Check the first one and check where you have come to. The first one may be 40 pages when the funder is looking for 10 pages. If it's 40, write 40 the first time. Don't try to make it 10 the first draft. Write it as long as it can take, okay? Because it's easier to summarize it than begin to look to go from small to big, and then you make mistake of putting different jargons there. So write it as long as possible. Then the second draft, you are looking at it again with clear eyes. So when you have written 40 pages, go out and do something, play around, walk around, just leave it for maybe one day or two. Go back to that again. Go back to that and look at it again. You see, so did I really write this? Wow, what was I thinking? You begin to see your document in new light. You can move it from 40 pages to 35 or even 30, because there are certain things you will cut off, there are certain things you will match here, there are certain things you move to other places, there are certain things you remove entirely. Then leave it out and do things and come back to it again every second week. Then you find out that you can reduce even from 30 pages to 20 pages. So it's a process that you begin to employ your skills, your writing skills, to make things easier. And before you know it, you have 20 versions, 10 versions of that draft that now resemble what the funder is looking at. So yes, there are word bin limits, but the skills need to be applied to get it to that. You need to fit everything. And what I mean by everything, the hook you're talking about here, it needs to be there. You need to put those things, because the reviewers who are experienced in reviewing research grants, they will look for them. They will look for them. You don't need to tell them, oh, I have put it here, I've put it in second page. No, they want to see it there and they're looking for it. So find a way to get it ready. It should be a one page and try to get that. Prof, I hope this is clear enough for you.
Quite. You did a great work of it. Thanks, Prof.
Great. So this introductory paragraph, the goal is here is that you should divide it into 4 parts. It's just a paragraph, but the 4 parts may be 1 sentence getting 1 part, maybe 2 sentences, but you should have this aspect. The first one is said the hook. What is called the hook here is what gets the reviewer. When he takes your paper, he's looking at it, he's so much hooked on what you have. You are trying to do here. So that is the statement that tells the reviewer, I am serious. Believe me, I'm serious sending this application. And he gets it, he's hooked with it. What are you trying to do? Why are you doing that? What is known about the topic, you need to include that in that paragraph. And the gap, what is not known. So you start from what is known. You make a statement of what and why you are trying to do this, what is known, the gap, and the critical need for what you're going to do. And here I have captured this from the bioscience writers website, and they have given this paragraph and they have shaded this so that you can see what here. So you take your time. I'll put this later today in the Dropbox. Look at this again and use this framework to think about how you're going to develop. So you can see here is the hook. Viruses are thought to be involved in 15 to 20% of human cancers worldwide. If you don't have this, really? I thought it was smoking. Wow, this is serious. Thus, providing critical tools to reveal common mechanisms involved human malignancies. Wow, my goodness. So this is where we're having our problem with cancers. You can see that what is going on in the mind of the reviewer. So then we need money for this, because in my context we have so much viruses that are out there. You don't know what each of them is doing. And then he's continuing to read this section. So you get the hook. You get the hook. The first sentence of that. Please note this. This is not a child's play. It's very important. So if you're writing your grant, you want it to be successful, and you come home, you said, they don't like my face, I've tried 4 times. Make sure you're getting it right. And that is why this training wants to make sure, we want to forcefully ensure that you get it, because Africa must develop. We have the potentials, we have the capacity to ensure that we do it, and we can do it, but we need to do it in the right way. So you don't just write, yeah, I've written it, I've submitted it, and I am waiting in the next 6 months. Believe me, we're getting the grant. And next 6 months, they knock you out. You say, what? These people are wicked. These people didn't consider me. Convince them. You need to convince them. And this structure is very important for you to note. Okay. So I have many hands here. Okay, I have Jack Perrick.
Yes, Prof. How important is reference citations in grant writing applications?
Reference.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very important, and many funders have instructions for that as well. Many funders have instruction, but you know, in the EMS page, don't put references much there. Don't put too much references. Okay, the EMS page, don't put much references. You can put some actually advice. Don't put references at all there. This is what you are bringing in. It's the idea you're bringing in. The information here is there scattered in the literature, but you also have another part. What we are describing here is not your background. It's not your introduction. That will come later, where you begin to do literature review, expanding this aspect that I have described here. And I said in the previous page, I said that the aims and objectives page is a miniature of the whole project. So you still have other sections to expand the issues you are describing in the aims page here. So in those areas, put the literature there, put the references there, and follow the instruction of the funder. Okay, did any other person raise the hand? All right, let's go to the next second paragraph. This is the paragraph that introduces solution to what you have identified in this paragraph. You have identified this problem here, identified it, and then you have finalized this paragraph with a critical need. Currently, a major obstacle in the field is that the transforming activity of tax mutants, which they are described here, cannot be compared using available transgenic models due to random transgene integration site, variable transgene copy number, and inconsistent transgene expression levels, making it difficult to link the biological activities of tax mutants with their transforming potential. So there is a critical need here. There is a gap, we know, here now. So the next paragraph, you introduce solution to the gap you have identified. And then you convince reviewers that you have the solution to that gap. You have the expertise and the track record to that gap. And so you'll be trying to answer in that paragraph questions as, what do you want to do? Why are you doing it? how would you do it? These are short answers you should provide, convincing. And so we should also have 4 parts to this paragraph. The long-term overarching goal of the solution you're bringing in, the hypothesis and objectives, the rationale, what would the project solve, qualifications, why you are and your team are the best to accomplish the project. Okay, and here is another example using the same project there. To solve this problem, we will develop an innovative mouse model system in which to study tax tumorigenesis using targeting vectors containing wild type of mutant tax genes that are silenced by a preceding flux stop cassette. You see, to solve this problem, we will develop an innovative mouse. Why is it long term? Because what you develop here is not only going to be used by you, it to be used by others as well. It will be used to deal with these issues in the long term. So the proposal objective is given in the yellow part. Rationale, the feasibility of our proposed mouse model is supported by the fact that LCK tax transgenic mice have been developed and produce a leukemia that closely resembles ATLL. This is not the language of many people here, but the point here is that the principle still remains the same. The first part, you provide the long-term goal of what you're trying to do. You provide the proposed objective, that is the main aim. You're putting here the overall aim, the rationale, the hypothesis you think you'll be testing, and then the payoff, as they call it here. Okay. The third paragraph of the EMS page now provide the specific aims or objectives to test the hypothesis you have identified there in this previous one, and this should be 2 or more sentences that address how you will test those hypotheses or address the question you are trying to solve here. Use active voice. You can bold some of the active voice you're using. You can bold it, put them in bold to attract for easy identification. Include a brief aspect of approach to addressing the specific aim objective. What it means here is that if, for instance, you are trying to address a particular issue with questionnaire, once you have finished the objective sentence, full stop, then you say, we will address this by sending a questionnaire to this one. Just a sentence to indicate. So you already put there. But in the methods part in the application, you are going to expand on all this. Okay? So you address the approach you are going to use to address the specific objective. You can also use short headings for each aim, or you can use the bolding as I mentioned here. This goes in 3 parts. The title of the objective or aim, the approach and experimental strategy you're going to use, and the outcome you are going to get from this. So many times people write their objectives by just stating, this is to study this. This will identify this. No, you need something more. In the EMS page, you need something more. Okay, so you have this aspect. M1, we establish an innovative mouse model for HTLV1 tax tumorigenesis. Full stop, this is the M. In fact, this is the M title, really. Sorry, let me take some water. Now it says targeting vectors containing silence this, and it expands on this and highlight the strategy they are going to use to solve this. Very brief they do that. And once you have done this, we have what you want to do, how we are going to do it. And once we have done this, we are going to get potential results. So you see your M, it's not just only this, as you will see in many cases. It includes aspects of the M's and objective title, and then expanding on the approach briefly you're going to use to solve this, and what outcome or impact this you will have. Okay. The final and summary paragraph will be the base. And our glass with a narrow base is unstable and will topple. So if you have stopped here, around here for the objective, it says it will topple. So it's good to provide a base for this hourglass to stand firm. And that is why I said you should formulate your EMS page resembling the hourglass. So this will highlight what innovation, what you're going to do we bring, what outcomes eventually come when the project is completed, what outcome. Once you have done the project, what we will get from it immediately. And then you should highlight the impact, and that is the big picture, the vision, the societal impact the project will have in the long term. This may be 5 years, 10 years after the project is over. This is what we'll have. And here also, they have given how this can be framed using the same example here. So this is the way you work on the EMS page. And I know perhaps some of you are encountering this for the first time. The fact is that, as you see, I explained this may be sweet to hear, but it's not easy to put in practice. But that is why we are here. And we are here because we want to do it. And if we want to do it, we can do it. So let's do our best. Let's do our best to see how we can begin to work on this with regards to the topic we have chosen to work with. So what I would do, in the absence of any question, what I want you to do now is that I will send you also to your groups to continue where you stop, to begin to formulate your EMS page. This you will continue, and you'll continue it later in the afternoon when you go to, at the end of the class, you go to your group, you continue to develop this together with your title as well. So that is what I will do now. I don't know if anybody has any burning question otherwise. So once this is done, we will also send it like this. I will update this now as you go to your group. And so we'll continue this. You have just about 15 minutes to work until the lunch break. If you want to continue while you're eating your lunch there, please do. But if you want to stop at the time of the lunch, please do. We meet again 1 hour after the lunch. Sorry, I got it wrong. So you have about 45 minutes to work on this before you go on what's it called? The lunch break. And after that, so the lunch is 10:30 GMT. So about 45 minutes from now, you work on that, and then 45 minutes, you go for lunch, and we return 1 hour, and that is 11:30 GMT. We'll continue that. Okay, I have some hands. Godonu, and then after that, Sam, I will follow.
Okay, thank you, Prof. We noticed that the M page should not be more than 1 page.
Yeah.
And I would like to know why.
I
would like to know why.
Yeah. How much do you want to write? How many pages do you want to write? Godonu?
You said?
How many pages do you want to write? How many pages do you think will be sufficient for you?
Maybe more than 1, 2.
2 or 3?
No, maybe 2.
Some of us will even want 5 pages. Godonu, really. But I went for a workshop. I went to a leadership workshop, and what this leadership coach, did that I was so surprised. You know what he did? He divided us into groups, and he gave us a task to perform in a group. I said, I'm giving you half an hour to solve this task. Give us half an hour to task it. And he timed us. And after half an hour, he came, and we were solving it, and some of us did not even finish solving that. Then he rotated the task he has given to different groups. We got a new task. I said, I'm giving you 15 minutes to solve this. And then we did it within 15 minutes. And then he rotated again. He gave us 5 minutes to solve. He gave us 5 minutes to solve that task. And then I was so surprised in the sense that the task of 30 minutes was solved within 5 minutes. I said, what is happening nowadays is that scientists are losing so much track because you have the social media. And so you have a task you're supposed to solve in a day, you're taking a week because you sit down in 1 hour as you're typing or you're reading. Watch how many times you have used your social media. It takes you off. And that principle I bring to here, that Godonu, if you cannot tell a story within 1 page, if you are given 5 pages, you will not still finish that story. That is true. It's a principle that is there. So if you're given 1 page to produce your EMS page and you think it's not sufficient, even if you are given 2 pages, it will not be sufficient for you because you still have much to say beyond 2 pages. And they give you 5 pages. You still have much more to say beyond that. And so you have only 1 page, and that is what you should work with. And I tell you, if you produce that story in 1 page, it will be so sweet than when you produce it in 2 pages or 5 pages. Believe me. And you will give yourself a pat on the back that you have done a good job. If you're able to keep to this limit of one page, I think 1 page is sufficient to hit this. Really, you don't need much time, much space to do that. Okay, Salma, and then we'll have Felix. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. In Group 8, we have 3 suggested titles for 3 different kinds of projects. Do we have to formulate the aims for the 3 of them, or we have to choose one and go
No,
ahead?
the title does not have any influence on the aims. You see, I have already put you in trouble. And the trouble I put you is that I told you to make the title first before the project. And why I did that was to allow you to see how you can develop your title along the way, and you can compare the final product title you have to what you did when you started. But the title does not have any influence on the project itself, unless you're talking about the topic. Unless you're talking
about the topic, exactly.
Yeah, so choose one topic. Yeah, it's
okay.
Your group should now limit it to one, and then formulate your title on that one, and then this aims page on that one topic.
Okay, yes, that's clear. Thank you.
Okay, Felix, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to add to what you said initially. I attended an international conference. I did my presentation and all that. I was supposed to have 30 minutes, only to receive an email the morning of the conference that I have 4 minutes to present, not 30 minutes anymore. And I mean, it has never happened to me in my entire life. 4 minutes presentation, 30 minutes. But interestingly, when I finished in 4 minutes, I felt so good. Like, I think we are wasting so much time talking, because I could actually express the essence of what I want to say in 4 minutes. And I felt so satisfied, so I was like, adding to what he said initially.
Great. Thanks very much for sharing that experience, Felix. I used to work before moving here. I used to work at the University of Edinburgh in the UK. They have one fantastic program there, and this is actually a UK-wide program. They have what they call 1 minute thesis presentation. So PhD students who are finalizing their PhD are put in a competition. Use 1 minute to summarize their entire PhD project. 1 minute only. So that by the end of that 1 minute, somebody has captured what you have done. And this is a competition. And they have internal competition within the university to select the best, who will now represent the university between universities, So sometimes we are asking a lot when we have the ability to even deliver in what we already have before us. Okay, I have Epiphany.
Yeah,
and just to say that this is not easy. It requires practice. It requires hard work, really. It requires that. And so you need to invest in that. And that is what I keep stressing. And so when people say, well, they don't like my face, or, well, we can't do this, it requires, and universities require investing in this capacity building. I was, this program, this training provide here is free of charge. We do it free of charge. And this is our contribution, I've said. But I remember one university approached me, can you offer training for our staff? I say, yes, of course. And then they start asking, how is it going to arrange? I say, well, the one I offer, you have attended, you have seen, is free. But when university want this type of this, then it should be, we take charge for that. And they just put off the light because they think that it's, you offer free service for this. No, you don't do that. You have to invest in your staff, and you need to find the sources. And as I've said before, universities have opportunities. Universities in Africa have opportunities to do this. There are different funding agencies. Even within internally, they can develop the potential to generate fund to do this kind of capacity building for the staff. And once that capacity is built, it produces a result that can transform the university in the long run. Okay, sorry, Epiphany, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. My question is still about the AIMS page. Is this okay to start writing in a brainstorming style for the first draft and then work on it, narrowing it down until you get one page like it is required?
Yeah. So that's what I just said when Prof Chuguma was speaking. If your first draft will take you 5 pages, Epiphany, write 5 pages.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Then work on it, hard work, and bring it to 1 page.
Okay.
Yeah, and you are able to do that. There is nothing stopping you if you start in time and you have motivation to do this. You should have the motivation really, because we're talking about money. Money is good, you know, but to get it, you need to get yourself in the right place. You need to think about these things, and then you will see that it begins to come, and you hit well.
Thank you.
Amanda, you have a question?
Yes. In a 1-page documents, do you need to provide in-text citation?
No, that's what I said. If you need to do that, let it be something that is really significant. Otherwise, leave it out in this AIMS page. Leave it out and put it, because as I said, this is a miniature of the project. So you will still expand on those things you have provided in that 1 page there. You still expand. So if your reference is really essential, and for instance, if I'm doing a project, for instance, now, and this is a fund I'm seeking to continue what I've started doing before. And in what I did before, I received funding, and perhaps I received funding from a very top funder. And so I can start by saying that last 5 years, I received this amount of funding from this place. And I have run this project and I've produced this. Now I want to continue in this direction, and that's why I'm seeking this funding. If I really want, because you see that this funder is a big one, and I want to tell the reviewer that this is true, I can put inside there to maybe give you a website or give a reference to that funder that I received 5 years, so that the reviewer can easily check it, something like that. But if it's not significant, don't just leave it out and expand in the main body of the project plan.
Okay. So I'm asking in relation to the research interest that you're asking postdoc proposals, and it's just 1 page. So sometimes you don't know whether to put in-text citation or not.
Which research? I didn't get that.
If you're applying for a postdoc, for instance, they ask you for a research statement, a 1-page research statement. And so I was wondering if it's similar to this.
Yeah, so that is not a grant application, isn't it? They want you to provide a 1-page motivation, isn't it? Is it, Amanda?
No, a motivation in addition to a research statement stating your project you want to undertake.
Yeah. So for that, if they ask you for 1 page, it means that they want all the ingredients on that 1 page. So you should try to support with references. Of course, that is what you need to battle with, to put those things in that 1 page. So struggle with it. That is what the life is all about. And I tell you, it's part of the development of who you should be as a scholar. You need to take a story and reduce it. My kids, sometimes they tell me that tell us a story before they go to bed. I say, oh, I'm so tired. it's going to take long. I said, but Daddy, make it so short. You can make it short. And then I can tell them that story in, and I said, the end. I said, that was a nice story. You know, still enjoyed it, even though it was short. So you can, as a scientist, bring your story, make it shorter, and that is a possibility as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So let me now move you to your breakout rooms. So I'll see you after lunch then. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. I see that you have been extremely busy trying to get things moving, which is quite encouraging. So I'll just give opportunity for any questions that you have in your mind. Anybody with any question? How is the group work going? The group work, do you find the group works useful?
Yes, they are useful, and for the beginning, of course, bringing ideas together to come up with something that everyone will agree with is a little cumbersome, but then later we agreed, and then the good thing is everyone is reading around the topic of interest now that we have developed in our group. So I find it quite interesting, and of course the beginning gets a little harder, but then later on, as we understand the concepts, it becomes a little simpler as we end the course. So you'll find it positive because it's challenging at this moment.
Okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, I also agree with you. Yeah, it was tasking, when you have so many ideas and you are trying to ensure that everybody's opinion is represented, is captured in whatever you decide. You have the group decides rather. So, and it's also engaging. I have not been able to go for a break. So I realized yesterday that I didn't eat, and I experienced some fatigue. So I had to keep water close by so that I wouldn't need to stand up from where I am. And some things that I could nibble on. So it's engaging, and it's something that one really need to sit with even after the workshop in order not to forget what had been said, so that one can really internalize what has been said all through the period of the training. Thank you, Prof.
You are very diligent, eh? You didn't even eat yesterday. That's tough one. Yeah, but anyway, I've given you opportunity. If you want to continue to deliberate on this, we can form a group. So you think about that across the groups, so we can find something we can all agree to meet from time to time. Okay, anybody already overwhelmed this far? Any concerns? Any worries? Any challenges? Please, it's your time to speak out.
Hello.
Yes, I have
I
a
don't know.
Baba, yeah.
Hello. Yes, sir. Zasha speaking. I don't know. I always find it difficult myself. That's one of my weakest, I don't know, points when it comes to writing my aims and my objective. It's so difficult to me.
Yeah. It just
Yeah,
is it only difficult? Is it only you that is difficult to? Have you seen anybody it's easy with?
No. I think
Yeah. Have you
I'm the
found
one who's
anybody who says it's very easy for me to write my M's?
I would not comment on behalf of others.
Okay. Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make here is how do you say your name?
It's Nyasha Dashi.
Is there a short way to say it?
Oh yeah, there is one, Nyasha.
Nyasha, okay. Nyasha, okay.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. So the point I'm trying to make is that nobody, I don't think you see anybody who would tell you, oh, my M's were so easy to write. It's always a difficult journey. And I think we shouldn't be afraid of difficult journeys because that is really what makes us tough and strong. We need to put effort to go through those difficult journeys. And writing the M's, not just the M's, even as simple as you see the title, writing the title with the perspective I gave you this morning, you may just, well, my title will be this, but actually there are things people are looking at for when you put up your title. So no section of the grant application is easy and nobody finds it easy. It's difficult, it is tough, but we have to do our best to try to get them right. And when you have a group like this, Theo and Adewumi were saying, yeah, it was not easy to get a topic amidst differences in opinion. Yes, those are good things to happen. Those are good things to happen. It sharpens your perspectives. It makes you to understand that there are different ways people think things, and that will even feed into what you're doing. To understand that, you have a perspective, you think you understand, it is clear to you, but it's not so to everybody. It's not so to everybody. And that is why when you have differences in opinion, perspectives, it helps you to integrate those opinions in refining what you are doing actually. So I think instead of getting scared of this, embrace it. I was happy with the group that stayed until evening yesterday to see the discussions they're having. It may not be, all discussions may not be on the topic, on the project, or on the course, but you can also discuss other things that takes your mind away from this, and then you come back to the written again. And by that time, your brain works in a way that you can already begin to fine-tune what you have, sorry about that, what you have been looking at since the morning. So those differences are good. The journey is tough. Conceptualizing the idea is tough. It's not easy. Refining it is tough. We have had different aspects. You have expressed concern. The number of words, yes, is tough, but we are going to walk through them, use the framework I'm presenting here to think about this. And one thing is that I always tell my kids when they do things and they try to get this crazy, practice makes perfect. That is a common saying we have. Keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. Then you see it's easier. And you can experiment this with kids. You see how they express, wow, it's easy. Yeah. So keep trying. And that is what we have to do throughout our lives, to keep trying. So every aspect is tough, Nyasha, including the aims, the objectives, not only for you, but for everybody, myself including. It's tough, but we have to live through that. And but one thing is that the more success you get in doing it, the easier it becomes for you. Not that it's easy, but the easier your mental status has embraced these tough things. Okay. So, any other point, any other question you want to bring up? Yeah, Salma.
Yes, thank you. I'm always thinking about the line of demarcation between writing a project, objectives of a project per se, and objectives for funding. There is any kind of differences, or they are pulling on the same page?
Well, the question you're asking is very important. What we are discussing here is focusing on looking for money. Sama, we are looking for money. We want to get money. Money is the issue here. You understand? And so what we have been discussing this week is how do we convince somebody to give us money that does not belong to us? It belongs to them. How do we get that from their pocket? That is the issue here. You understand? That is why we are struggling with all this. If you say, okay, write my project, I can write my project without worrying of so many things I've told you up till now. I just write a project. Maybe I send it to my institutional review board that will review the project that are coming up to at the institutional level, or I send it to ethics committee. But when I'm looking for money, I have to really tell them I need that money. I have to get that money from them. And so it becomes very competitive.
To emphasize in certain points more than writing a project, like the difference is that to emphasize on words or on objectives that they can look at it as the real problem, then they can consider that and give me the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You need to convince them. So the language of the project you have written, maybe going to ethics or go to your ethics review board, you need to tweak it. You need to tweak it in a way that it fetches your money. You need to get the money to run that project. So you take the application you have sent to your institutional review board, they have approved that, then you bring it, now I want to look for money. And so you begin to reshape it. You begin to reshape it to persuade those who have the money that I am the right one to get this money, and my project is important, and it will have impact, significant impact on the population of society or in the field of research. So they are not exactly the same, but what is in the project you have submitted your ethics review board or institutional review board will still be in the grant application, but now the structure you have to follow in writing the grant and the language you are going to use and the persuasion you're going to use and the terminologies will now change because you want to get money.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Prof Chukuma can take that last, then we'll move on.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes. Just to, before we forget, you did mention that the slides will be in the Dropbox, just as a reminder, so that it's been fantastic. We'll get the link to the YouTube, or the slides will be of this presentation, like the things you will be sharing, if we can have it. We've been capturing the slides, taking the print screen and then saving it.
Prof, everything will be available. The one of yesterday is already in the Dropbox, so you can pick that one up from there. Once we finish this, it will also go to the Dropbox. The video is the one that takes time because he needs to process. But I think the one of yesterday should be there later today.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have
so
everything, and I think before the end of the week, I have several other resources I will put in there so that if you want to continue going forward to read, those will be available for you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, let's move forward. Now I have put the list, including the group coordinators in the Dropbox. I've updated what I put there before. So please pick up those coordinators there, and I will share my slide now, and because I also have it, so if you want to take picture of this, you do so. Nope. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So please, if you want to take picture of this, this is what I have now. Just take picture of this. So group 1 is Epiphany, and group 7 you're sharing with is Julie, and the emails are there. And this is also the full list of everyone who is taking this course. It's in the Dropbox, and the email addresses and country of origin. To be frank with you, if you really want to push on with this, try to discuss within your group. If you want that mentoring program, we can establish it. I am happy to get you going. Happy to meet. We find time to schedule. I think the other group we formed a year ago, almost a year ago, has been fantastic, very, very fantastic. So if you want to form a group from this course for the sake of mentoring and deliberating on some of these issues, please do so, and we can then have a coordinator of such group. The other group we are involved, we have coordinator, we have secretary, and then we can plan programs of how to move on. That is the way it works, to be frank with you. In this part of the world, such things are very common. And for us in our continent, for this to move, for things to move, we need to rub minds, as they say. We need to meet, we need to deliberate, we need to discuss, we need to converse. And the platform we have here, we are trying to make this available to get things going in that direction. Okay, Shinagoram, you have a question? You have to unmute yourself, please. I see your hand raised. Do you want to speak?
Yes, I can access. There's nothing in my Dropbox, sir.
Did you follow the link I gave?
Okay, you gave a link.
Yeah,
okay,
you have to. You have to follow
system.
You have to follow the link I gave. You have to follow to access that. So, Eman, please help me
the link,
put it again. Put it again. Check the chat box.
Okay.
Eman will put the link there so that you can have it.
Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, so this is clear. And then we really, I don't know why this happened. You didn't remind me. Maybe we are running away from it, but no, we are not going anywhere. I still have it in mind, because group 1 is supposed to give us their own nuggets before the lunch break, but they run away from it, and I caught them on the way, bringing them back that they need to do this. So I think we'll take time now to do that. Group 1, are you ready for this now?
Well, group 1, we couldn't put things together, but we have something that we have read. I have read from here, and my colleagues as well. So I don't know, Epiphany.
So do you think you want to do it now? Because we can still give you time to do that. Do you think you want to do it now?
Yes, but it won't be on the screen.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can get that ready later on, and then we can put it in the Dropbox as well.
Okay, sir.
So if you think you're ready now to present something for us, we can listen to you, and then you can formulate it as a PowerPoint presentation, and then we can put that in the Dropbox so that other groups will have what you have presented. And then while group 1 is presenting, group 2, you are supposed to do that when we return. So you follow up after group 1. I hope you are ready for that, group 2.
All right. Okay, so
group 2, are you ready for that?
Group 1.
Yes, Prof, we are ready.
Okay, great. So
let me do that now on behalf of group 1.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the material given us is titled Early Career Funding Sources. And the subtitle, you will not find what you do not seek. So the nuggets, he said, as an early career researcher seeking for funding, you must be transparent. So talk to your supervisors, let them know that you have interest in any research area. And number 2, cast a wide net. So explore different avenues for research funding. Sometimes we focus only on one avenue, but the nugget here is explore different avenues for research fundings. Number 3, pay attention to details because your audience will be impressed by a tidy, well-organized, and well-presented piece of writing, and even with the meaning of the words used. And finally, learn from your mistakes. And that means we should carefully read the reviewer's comments and incorporate their suggestions into your next submission. So these are the nuggets we got from the material, Early Career Funding Sources. You will not find what you do not seek. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that is really fantastic point of view and well summarized and within time. Does anyone have any thoughts from group 1 on this? Or from any group? Any other group that has any thoughts on this? Okay, all right, thank you, group 1. That is the nuggets. You have to take note of those tips because they are important. I think they also apply to the questions Sama asked earlier. If my application to funding is different from project application. Yeah, when you apply for funding, these tips begin to come into play. You need to watch them carefully. Okay, let's go to group 2.
Okay, group 2, it's article titled Hunt for Hidden Research Riches. So when the search continues, introduction is funds are available for those who are willing to hunt for them. But the trick remains in knowing where to look, and also looking outside the standard grant box might help. So for those who don't leave the comfort of the office, the hunt for funds can be draining, and then also the grant related time can be wasted with no benefit to scientific progress. Also, it advises that researchers, scientists should be proactive, seek unconventional funding, and then make relationship, research, develop offices, and then meet with other people on a regular basis. Also, that if you haven't built, you have to build your funding resume. Start with those small fundings, and then they will ultimately build to multi-million-dollar grants. So for an example, the domestic funding can be hard to come by in the Northern Africa. So little is spent much in research. So great finances can be found in the internet. And then the advice is that organizations differ in awarding those grants. So the different system will be by invitation by someone who offers grants and then partner with everyone. So everyone that is in research should be open to share their data. They want to know who's listening. And then so also find coaches to promote your research through social media, conferences, meeting, and personal networking. So that is the tips that we got from Hunt for Hidden Research Riches.
Thank you very much, Priscilla. I think those tips you have mentioned are very, very good and in line with the things I've been saying. Particularly, start with a step before you move 1,000 steps. Money is good, money is nice, but when you come to making these applications, not just because of the money that has been mentioned, you need to build a profile. You need to understand how the system works. You need to gain the experience, not just writing to get the money, but also experience in how you can manage it. Because you may get money and then it becomes overwhelming. How do you manage this? And you have timeline you have to deliver what you have promised. So that advice I have given there, start from domestic or from institutional funding is good, so that you gain that experience and you build on it before you go for multi-million-dollar funding. So that is how it should be, and that is how it works. Nobody will give you money, big amount of money, when they don't see evidence that you actually have experience in handling this kind of money. So that is really in rare case that happens. All right. I see that many of you did not have your break, so let's have 10 minutes break. Just to say that for group 3, your nugget will come after the last session we have today, and that may be in 20 minutes time or 20 minutes time from now, or yeah, around 20 minutes time. So please get ready so that you give us your own nuggets before we leave for today, and then tomorrow will be for group 4 to 6. Okay, let's meet again in 10 minutes. Okay, welcome back, everyone. We have to keep going now. Group 3, are you ready for your nuggets?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please go on.
Okay, I'm still working on the PowerPoint presentation, but I can present without sharing.
Yeah, no problem.
Can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Okay, so for group 3, we read an article titled "Got to Get a Grant," and it was talking about a neuroscientist, how he was successful in getting a grant. And so our nuggets are: propose a novel kind of research with high impact, and it must show high impact and and must be innovative. Pay attention to details of REMIT application. Researchers applying to international funders should be ready to explain how their work will benefit their country by explaining the impacts, advances, and potentials. Researchers have to show that you are independent thinking scientists taking a different track. And this is to explain that you don't, the funders frown against you, taking your research based on what your supervisor is doing. Yours should be different. Leverage on collaboration, peers and senior colleagues for effective review of your application. Avoid working in silos. do not be too ambitious. That is having a grant application that is supposed to take decades. You should be avoid use of abbreviations, acronyms, technical jargons, as this may be showing that you are trying to hide your knowledge of your work. Then request for appropriate sum, as failure to do so might be perceived as a show of incompetency. Then we have about 3 quotes from the article, that no hard and fast rules on which funder to approach. There is no hard and fast rule on which funder to approach. Then a grant idea, we get applicants so far, but there are other strategies that can add to their chances of success. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Adewumi. All right. Those are very important points. And one thing why I brought that paper is the person who wrote that. I think he got a fellowship. As I showed yesterday, there are different types of grants. There is a project grant, there's a fellowship grant. There are also other different types of grants, innovation grants, and so on. So fellowship grant is a personal grant, meaning that it is given to you for your development, for your career development. So one of the assessment they want to make here is where this grant is taking you to. And if you want to make assessment of where the grant is taking this person to, then they want to also see where the person is today. And so usually many of the career development focus grants, they want to see you moving away from your supervisor. They want to see indicators of independence. And that is what it's all about. You shouldn't finish your PhD and you're still roaming around your supervisor doing the project. If you have ambition to progress in your career as a scientist, as an investigator, then you want to see that independence. It's not that you shouldn't work with your supervisor, no, but what the supervisor could do is to help you to achieve that independence. You shouldn't be arrogant about it. You shouldn't say, because you're at that level, you begin to see your supervisor as nobody anymore. No, work with your supervisor to develop that independence. And very careful supervisors will help you, because there are things that they don't know you, but from your output, scientific output, they can already ascertain independence there. So your supervisor should be able to help you to achieve those milestones that will show that you're becoming independent. And then you can still collaborate with your supervisor. So that is very, very important for personal fellowships that are there, that should be a sign of independence that you should have. And that is a sign of a career trajectory you want to go. So that is quite important to note for those who are still at that stage. You're doing your PhD or you're doing your postdoc. Know that this aspect of independence is required. You have to work on your ability to develop research ideas. You have to develop your abilities to develop skills to manage projects, to manage people, to initiate projects, to have leadership skills. So these are required. Unfortunately to say, many African universities do not have the frameworks to really put upcoming ones in perspective. Well, it's possible. I don't know if that is common, but from my own experience, it's not common. But we need to get there. We need to find a way to begin to develop those frameworks that we provide the opportunity for upcoming researchers to do best well. The frontier seminars we are having, we have at the end of every quarter, we have the My Career, My Story session. So the one we're having in June as well, we'll have My Career, My Story in the second week of June. And that is a place we open opportunity for thriving, established or upcoming African researchers to share the experience of how they have, maneuvered the rigors of the process to be who they are today. I think it's quite inspiring. Last time, end of March, we had presentation from two young African daughters, one from Ghana, one from Ethiopia, who presented their career journey. You can also go to the website, the YouTube channel. Eman, please, you can share that as well and listen to how they have really come to where they are. So it's good to think of this very carefully if you want to get where you're going. So Eman will share the YouTube channel for the last My Career, My Story addition we had to the Frontier Seminar Series, so that you can see these young Africans and see that it's not really easy. It's not really easy, especially when you're an African woman in the context of Africa. It's not really easy to maneuver through the system, but people are doing their best and they're pushing on in the right direction. So I think the advice that has been given here in this paper is very relevant, and you should keep to that. Okay, I think I will now move on. So what happens here is that I mentioned this yesterday. I will invite you to fill in the evaluation form at the end of the course. Perhaps even already on Thursday, I will try to do that so that you can start evaluating the course. This is very important for us. Trust me, it's very important because it helps us to improve in what we are doing and see where we can do better to ensure that the goal of these trainings are met. We're able to persuade our brothers and sisters to do well in what they are doing, to improve their career, and to make opportunities to engage in excellent science. So I will send out the link for that. Then I am already making a list of those I will call out to present a video shout out. I will give you issues I would like you to discuss in the video. Of course, you can add other things you want to add there. And then we'll have example in the last course. If you go to the YouTube channel, you will see, I think many of you on this video are already here in this course too. So I will send the list to some of you, inviting you to tell other people how you feel about this. If something you want them to come, if something that you like, something that is helping your career. So you just do that. And if you can't do it, just let me know. It's optional. Just let me know. Don't say I will do it and you don't do it. That's not so good. So just let me know you are not in the position to do it. But if you can do it, just do that. That is one way you can also contribute to what we are doing. Okay. So what I want to do before I send you back to your group this afternoon is to talk about the background and the significance. These are also very vital parts of the grant application. We talked about the title in the morning. We have talked about the EMS page where you really convince already before the reviewer is getting into the background section. He's already happy. No, this application is so good, so good. I want to read more to see the fantastic things the person has written. So the EMS page and the title are very important. Please take your time to work on that. And then the background is also very important. The significance is also very important because these are the places now you begin to elaborate, begin to expand the EMS page. You need to convince why this topic is important. You know, in the EMS page, you have the first paragraph that talks about while we are doing this, the gap in knowledge, what is known, what is we don't know. And so in the background, you have to now give a solid background to the topic. Why are you doing this project actually, and how are you going to do it? Sometimes people use the terminology state of the art. State of the art means the current status, what is happening in that field. What do we know? What have we known? What do we not know? Is this an interest? Is it an important topic really? Is this something that gives a direction on the field? You know, so you need to highlight those aspects. So move the readers and set a context why what you're doing is important to be done. And this background, once you have set the tune and the context, you also have aspect that includes the importance, the significance, as we call it. This is not the importance in the sense of for instance, clinical importance or societal importance. That is not what this is trying to say. This is the strength of the scientific foundation of that topic in a sense. Is it providing a sound science? Because there are certain things you do that do not have very much relevance, really. They're just very theoretical, you know. So if you do this study, what will be the effect it will have on the field, on the field of the topic, the scientific field of that topic? Is it going to help to move knowledge progressively? Is it going to fill a gap of things we don't know in that area? So in doing this, you need to look at the literature, really. You need to try to summarize the literature. And when you summarize the literature, if you write your thesis, there is a part really they call literature review. And there you begin to look at what others have done, summarize it. And the grant application, the goal is not to summarize all the field, both in historical perspective or in breadth. That is not the goal. The goal is for you to establish that what you're doing is significant. And so you provide a background that leads somebody to make that assessment that what you're doing is significant. You know, it's important for the field. It's important for science, for your science. So you focus on the key issues, not the peripheral issues, not summarizing everything. Then you have list of 100 papers. No, it's a grant application. It's a grant application. Many of those who will read your grant don't even know the literature. So don't think that they will begin to go back and begin to confirm. But there are very obvious, because a reviewer who may not know the literature may look at your topic and he goes to the internet and types. For instance, you're looking at issues, let's say diabetes, and he types to see who are the big names in this area. And when he sees your background and your significance section, and he doesn't see those names there, he will suspect that you have not done a careful review of the literature, set the background carefully. You don't know the literature. You don't know those who are doing the work there. So it needs literature review that helps you to summarize the nature and magnitude of the problem you're trying to address. Yes, we'll have a hand there, Uchewaji. Yes, sir.
Yes, Prof. Yeah. Thank you so much for this presentation. Now, talking about those who are renowned in a given field of research, how can an early researcher get to know these facts? What modality? How can they get to know, oh, this and this are known in this field that I'm researching into? Is there any way to get a clue?
Yeah, so that is the point I'm making here with regards to the literature. When you do a careful literature search, and of course you can't apply a grant in an area that you yourself you are not too much conversant with, because if you're conversant in that area, you already begin, because you're reading the literature, you begin to develop a pool of the expert, because their names will continue to pop out, as you look at that field, their names will continue to come. And so, but literature review, when you do that, it helps you to see more of these people, okay? And then you have your collaborators. And that is why you need to do this in collaboration. You have your mentors, you have your supervisors. You can also ask from them. What do you think? Names, write to colleagues to get those names. Do you think okay. I'm missing something that is not there? So there are many sources you can generate the names of this expert in that area. Okay, Chinagoram, you have a question?
Yes, please. I want to know the difference between background and introduction.
Well, it's introduction. I mentioned this earlier. I think that will come up when we do the scientific writing. That will come up to think about background and introduction. In the context of scientific writing, they are really interchangeable. It depends on what the journal wants you to use. But when you come to grant, the background or the significance or state of the art is what mostly people will prefer. And because it has a specific goal, it's not the introduction that we use there, because before you get to the background and the state of the art, you already have the EMS page, you understand? And the EMS page introduces you to the project. So the background section will not be introduction per se. So that is why we call it background, because it set the background of the context. But when you are writing scientific paper, an article, which is not what we are doing here, when you're writing that, then you follow the journal prescription, whether they want it to be an introduction or call it background. And whichever you call it, each of them is introducing you to the paper and to the topic and what has been done. So, but in the grant application, you're using the background to set a context of your topic, why you have done this topic, why it is important, and how you are going about conducting this. So you need to set that context so that somebody understands why you're doing it, why it is important, and that you know there is a gap in the literature that this can fill. So the significance of the topic can also come from looking at costs. If, for instance, it's a health or social problem, the costs that this problem brings, the cost there is not just in monitoring terms. For instance, you talk about the cost the COVID has brought, the cost this COVID has brought there. What are some of the causes? Unemployment has increased, it's a cost. In this part of the world, you have the welfare system whereby citizens are out of job and the government has to pay them for staying home because they don't have job. Citizens have to stay home to take care of their kids who are sick. The government has to pay them for that. So if you have, for instance, this COVID has come and hit everybody, and some people have lost their job because there is lockdown, so people can't go to job and they stay home. The company loses income, and the company may not be able to pay. And then people are home, and the company sends a letter that we can't pay, so we can't keep you. And so the government has a cost it is contributing. So what is the cost in monetary terms, in other ways, in societal terms, in psychological terms, and so on and so forth? So what is what is the significance of that? And addressing these issues, what would be the relief we have on that topic. So you have to summarize to highlight this aspect and that this topic is significant enough. And so you have to provide the best evidence that is available on the topic. You have to address gap in knowledge that your topic will fill in. And then you can also draw on published reports, local and national and government statistics to highlight your point why this topic is significant and needs to be addressed, and that your study will be able to address that. And it also background should also include aspect of the innovativeness to the topic. So you have to think of this, and I mentioned this yesterday, novel idea, innovative ideas. Don't just go and use the word, my topic is very innovative, and this is a very novel study. Tell them why it is novel. Tell them why it's innovative. Don't pack words and they want to understand that. So tell them that, for instance, many studies have been carried out on this topic, but really they have used this method and we have not still found a way to deal with this problem. This problem is really a big problem because it costs the society this. And this person has shown, for instance, in America, that if government does not do anything, in a year, the government loses this amount. So there is need to find another way of addressing this problem. And now we are trying to propose one way, which we have tried internally, and we are going to implement this. And when we implement it, we are sure that the government will gain this amount of recovery and so on. So you put that context, and that brings the aspect of innovativeness, novel aspect into the process, and be able to convince somebody. And to generate all this information, you're going to put in the background requires a literature review. I have said that before. And if you want to know how to do this very well, I tell you, you need to come to the course in July. So aim to apply to that one, which we call systematic reviews and meta-analysis. And you can see that the trainings we offer course across disciplinary line. Some people say, oh, I'm into the arts and humanities. I don't care wherever you are. All we are doing is to contribute to the society. And I believe that you can learn cross-disciplinary skills to also improve what you're doing in your area. So systematic reviews and meta-analysis course across disciplinary line. If you're an engineer, you will learn things there. If you're a computer scientist, you will learn things there. If you're a pastor, you will learn things there. If you're a man, you learn things. It doesn't matter, because as far as you're a scientist, you're interested in science comes. So the point I'm making is that that course will help you to really see how you can do this systematically and get the state of the art and current and best evidence on that topic. Okay, let me give opportunity to Naomi. Naomi wants to speak, and after that you have China Goram.
Thank you, Prof. Mine is just maybe seeking some clarification to see whether I've understood. So if I'm not wrong, when you're writing the background for a grant, different from, say, a project proposal, is you're expanding on the aim page and going into each aim and explaining what you're going to do and how it impacts, and therefore you need to pay, or just maybe
no. No. So here there is an aspect of the aim. If you see the first paragraph I mentioned, the first paragraph, we have the hook, we have the why you want to do it. So you have short statement you have used to invite the person to think that your project is important because it is important. Okay? So when you do the background now summarizes what is known, what is not known, why this project is important in that field. So you go and see what others have done and justify the reason why you're doing this. So this is not where you take the aims one by one. No, this is summarizing that field in a way that it provides a clear perspective of what we know and what we don't know, and where your project is coming in to fill a gap of what we don't know. Okay, that is what you do.
Okay, thank you.
Tomorrow, I think we are going to go into the methods section of your grant. We're going to go into the method section of your grant, where I will also describe to you a strategy you can use to describe the method. I didn't know this until I also improved in writing the method section, and I think it's something you will also learn new thing there. And something you mentioned now. So in the background, we don't take the aims. Of course, you can use subtitles in the background. You can use subtitles in the background that may reflect aspect of the aims, but it's not that you repeat your aims, then you describe. So you can use subtitles that reflect aspect of the aims so that it's easy for the reader to follow, to understand what you're actually talking about in each section, okay? But when it comes to the methods, we also have where we can present the methods in a way that it is clear, it's justifiable, it is persuasive, it's convincing. Okay, Shinagoran, please. Sinagram, do you want to speak? Okay, perhaps it was the previous hand you raised. So this is where we will stop. Yeah, group 3 has presented theirs, and I will send you back to your groups. You can continue as long as you want. This Zoom will be available for you, so you can continue. What I want you to do is to continue to develop your EMS page and then start looking at the background. When you do the background, the goal is not that you fill the whole place. A background of 2/3 of a page is sufficient enough. 2/3 of a page is sufficient enough. It doesn't necessarily need to be a full page. Okay. You can also think of using tables. You can also think of using diagrams or things like that to show the background. So don't write too extensive, whether in this project or in your grant application. Don't write your background too extensively. Some people go 2 pages and try to let the reviewers know how much they know. They don't care how much you know. They want you to convince them that really this is an important thing for them to spend their money on. So be direct, and then it's a summary you need to make. So work on it over and over and get it short. Don't make it too long. Okay, so goes to the EMS page and then start working on your background. And then for the group coordinators, I will come back to you individually to explain certain things to you, but I have put the full list on the Dropbox. So if the groups want to interchange, information submitting to the groups, please use the information I have put here. You can see here. So please contact these people here. All right. So let me move you to your groups now. And please, if you have not put your name, change your name and put your group there so that it's easy for me to get you to your group. Marion, what group are you on? Sorry, I keep forgetting this.
Group 4.
Group 4.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and Defina, what group?
Is group 5.
Miriam is group 5. Miriam Koulibaly, you mean?
Yeah, I'm in group 5.
Jewel, you are in group 2. Jewel is group 2. Defina? Defina is not there.